You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
A frustrating night, a blueprint for improvement. Straight ahead in the RebZone, we break down the opener at Arizona. Head coach Bobby Hauck is in studio to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly. Plus, the Rebels deliver a gift to a big fan with help from the Fox 5 Surprise Squad. And we look ahead to the home opener against Northern Colorado. Sit tight and hold on. Football is back. And we're talking UNLV in the RebZone right now.
1, 2, 3, cross out.
This is the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by Born and Raised, official home of Rebels on the Road.
Good evening and welcome inside the RebZone. Kevin Bollinger here alongside UNLV head football coach Bobby Hauck. Coach, I know the way that things went down in Arizona, not really what you guys were expecting.
Well, you never know what to expect in an opening game, but certainly we went in there and didn't expect Arizona to pound us the way they did on the scoreboard. And just not very happy about a lot of the things, but after going back yesterday and watching the film, there's certainly some good things we did, including playing hard throughout the game, and we got a week to get better and try to get our first win.
Well, let's start breaking this one down. It was a hot night in Tucson, and the Rebels ran into an Arizona offense that got hot and kept the pedal to the metal.
Hey, it's our season, boys! Go, baby, go! It's our season! On me, win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win! 1, 2, 3, cross out!
More than 50,000 packed into Arizona Stadium in Tucson. It was jumping for the 2014 opener for both schools. The Rebels received the opening kickoff and settled into the offense quickly. On 3rd and 6, Blake Decker found Devontae Davis for a first down. Then Decker hit freshman Devontae Boyd for a 13-yard gain. Marcus Sullivan picked up 10 and another first down as UNLV moved into Arizona territory, but the drive stalled after 8 plays, forcing a punt. The Wildcats started redshirt freshman and former Bishop Gorman standout Anu Solomon at quarterback, who completed a couple of passes early, but the Rebel defense locked down, forcing an Arizona punt. Starting at their own 20, Decker and Davis hooked up for a couple of completions, and Keith Whiteley ran the ball to mix things up as once again UNLV pushed the ball to the Arizona 34. But on 4th and 1, Decker couldn't pick it up. The spot didn't help, and the Wildcats got the ball back. Arizona drove down to the Rebel 21, but Casey Scowron missed a field goal wide left, and it appeared both teams were locking in for a tight one. Pinned in at their own 4-yard line, Arizona's big play offense showed up. Terrace Jones-Grisby rattled off a 41-yard rush to get Arizona out of trouble. Then 2 plays later, Solomon finds Nate Phillips all alone for a 39-yard touchdown pass, and it was 7-0 Arizona. The Rebels went 3 and out, and Solomon went right to it. The pass over the middle. Penny Vea goes for the knockdown, and he fans, and Samji Grant has nothing but open field. 63 yards for the score. At the end of the first quarter, the Wildcats were suddenly up 14-0. UNLV did fight back. First play of the second quarter, Decker goes deep, and Boyd hauls it in all the way down to the Arizona 16. On the next play, Whiteley gets it to the 11, but he takes a hit, and the ball comes out. The Rebels recovered, but instead of 2nd and 5 at the 11, it was 2nd and 16 at the 22. Jonathan Leyva booted a 41-yard field goal, and UNLV was on the board, but down 14-3. A key point in the first half, Arizona with a 3rd and 10 and a questionable pass interference call from the official farthest away gives the Wildcats a first down instead of having the punt. That led to an Arizona field goal and a 17-3 lead. Once again, the Rebels fought back. This nice grab by Davis moved the ball to midfield. Then Decker scrambles for 27 yards down to the Arizona 22. But 2 false start penalties pushed UNLV back, and they had to settle for a 48-yard field goal from long kicker Nikolai Bournan. With 3:08 left in the half, the Rebels were right in the thick of things, down 17-6. The kickoff went out of bounds, giving Arizona good starting field position at the 35, and Solomon orchestrated an 8-play, 65-yard drive, capped by this 13-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Neal for a 24-6 lead with 50 seconds before the break. Decker ran the 2-minute offense and put the Rebels in position for another field goal try before the gun, but Leyva was wide left, and the half ended with Arizona up 24-6.
All right, the Rebels were right there in the first half, but a couple of big plays really was the difference at that point.
Yeah, and there, you can see some of the things like we had them in the hole in the 30-yard run coming out. We had them on the 4-yard line where, you know, we can't say we're not good enough to make that play. We're unblocked at the point of attack. It's one of our better players, and we've got to make that play, and we will. There's just a lot of opportunities, and for us to be able to go in Arizona and win this game, and get it into the fourth quarter where we got a chance to win it, we've got to make the plays like the one we're just looking at. I mean, we're right there. We aren't making the plays, and certainly as the season plays on, we have to make those plays or we're not going to win many games.
Offensively, you had to like Blake Decker and how efficient he was with this offense.
Yeah, I think we've got a good quarterback. In fact, I think we have two. I liked our wide receiver play. Our front did a pretty good job. They were on target. We have to convert the 4th and 1, certainly. But we've got some good things going on. We just didn't capitalize on opportunities. And when you're playing a team like Arizona at their home stadium, you better capitalize, or a team like us is not going to be in the game, which is what happened. Red
zone mistakes, I know, drive you crazy. You had the fumble by Whiteley that UNLV did recover, but set you back. A couple of false start penalties down deep as well.
Yeah, you know, there's critical situations when the game's on the line. 2-minute situations. We gave up a drive at the end of the half. The red zone, 3rd down. We weren't good in those situations on Friday night, and it cost us. We ended up getting rolled up by a good football team. But, you know, I think that we'll correct a lot, and we're going to play well this weekend, I hope.
And defensively, they have a lot of speed, obviously, and your defensive backs seem to struggle a little bit with the wide receivers for Arizona. Yeah,
their wide receivers are highly regarded, considered the best in the Pac-10, which is a wide receiver skill type league, and we didn't hold up very well. We did at times, but there are times where they got away from us. We had a little bit of a interesting pass interference call that cost us a touchdown given up when we were right there in the game, and you know, we just didn't get any breaks, and we didn't make any, and Arizona got away.
Well, the second half brought hope that UNLV would get right back into this game, but the Wildcats continue to deliver big plays.
The Rebels were hyped up coming out of the locker room for the second half, knowing they could get right back in it. But deflation came on the first play from scrimmage. Solomon with the short pass over the middle to Austin Hill, and there is no one around. 92 yards for the score, and Arizona took 14 seconds to open things up. It was 31-6. The Rebels didn't fold and put together a nice drive on their first offensive possession of the second half. Decker with a series of passes to Boyd, Davis, and Kendall Keys. He was 6 for 6 on the drive and finished with his touchdown pass in the corner to Anthony Williams. UNLV had some life, but still down 31-13, and the Wildcats made sure to keep their foot planted firmly on the Rebels' throat. A 75-yard drive to answer, capped by Jones Grigsby, running it in from 2 yards out to make it 38-13. After a Wildcat field goal pushed the lead to 28, the nail in the coffin came with under a minute to go in the third. Nick Wilson gets a huge hole, and once through the line, it was clear sailing. 85 yards for another touchdown to go up 48-13. The Wildcats would add on 10 more. In all, Arizona set a school record for total offense with 787 yards. Solomon set a Wildcat freshman passing record with 425 yards, and Arizona picks up 353 yards rushing. The final score, exactly the same as last year, 58-13, but UNLV, while disappointed, can still point to some positives. two 100-yard receivers in Davis and Boyd, and Decker running the offense fairly efficiently with 252 passing yards to go along with 63 yards rushing.
All right, you said coming into this game that you had to tackle better if you were going to have a shot. That obviously did not happen. It seemed like a lot of high tackling led to a lot of broken tackles.
Yeah, you know, you and I were talking before. We look like a team that didn't tackle a whole bunch live in fall camp. You know, anymore with the way things are and the numbers, we've chosen, most of us in college football, to not spend a lot of time live tackling in fall camp, and it showed in this game. We've generally been a pretty good tackling football team. We tackled well in the spring, and we didn't look good in that aspect of it, in particular on space. And Arizona's offense is one that puts skilled athletes in space. You're going to have a lot of one-on-one situations, and if you aren't good enough to get them down in space, they're going to score points on you, and that's certainly what happened.
Is it a matter of just showing these guys on film what's going on, or do you have to maybe change and tweak something you do in practice this week to get the drills and kind of get that muscle memory back in there?
Well, you can't. You know, it's that time of year where you can't tackle live in practice much. You have to have healthy bodies on Saturday, and we made that decision in training camp not to do a lot of live scrimmage reps. Probably do the same thing again. You know, none of us can project that would happen, that we would tackle that poorly, but we've been a good tackling team, and we do work it. We'll continue to work it, but we won't do a bunch of live drills this week. No, we have to, when the lights come on, we have to go make those plays. A bright spot, your young wide receivers certainly came through throughout the game and made some big catches. Yeah, you know, they were a bright spot. You know, obviously Devontae Davis does a great job and will continue to do so, but the threats of the two freshmen, and Sullivan and Mattelli and Anthony Williams, makes it a little harder to just tilt everything to 81's direction. Well, up next, the Rebel players are going to react after Friday night's loss at Arizona. You'll hear that. And Coach Hauck and Devontae Davis team up with the Fox 5 Surprise Squad to surprise a diehard Rebel fan. We're back in just 2 minutes.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by Born and Raised, official home of Rebels on the road.
I think it's going to be a great opportunity to go and look at film and figure out what we need to do collectively and individually to improve and be better, because it was unacceptable how we played tonight in critical situations, and we need to be better next week, and we will be. We'll put it together and make it happen.
Of course, it's frustrating right now. We didn't come out and play to our abilities. We didn't play the way we have been working. So, but I mean, it's over now. Once the clock's hit 0, we got to be on to the next game, and we got to put it behind us and go out, work hard, and get ready to win a game next week.
You take it as a learning tool. You watch the film. You don't let it happen again, but you know, you can't sit there and dwell on it and let it affect the next game. Come out and beat Northern Colorado.
So, what was the message to the players in the locker room after the game?
Well, you kind of heard it. They do a pretty good job of conveying what's said to them, and you know, we need to correct off that film, take the good, build on it, take the bad, fix it, and then go out with great effort and play our style of football and try to come away with a big win next week.
And it did seem that you came out of this game injury-free, at least from what we could tell on the sidelines.
Well, you know, I wouldn't tell you anyway, but we came out pretty healthy. You play a physical game like that. They had about 100 plays of offense. We had 80-some. There's a lot of plays, so there's some people who are going to be dinged up a little bit, but we should be, as close as I can tell, full strength next weekend.
Hey, after more than 20 years, a former Rebel recruit will finally make the field during this year's home opener, thanks to his wife, Joanne, this guy right here to my left, and the Fox 5 Surprise Squad.
The Fox 5 Surprise Squad is powered by United Nissan, Dollar Loan Center, and Helix Electric.
We got a call from Joanne. Her husband, Derek, is a huge UNLV football fan. But the problem is they can't get to a lot of games. But we have the whole team here, and we have a huge surprise for him coming up. Hi. Are you Derek?
Yes.
Derek, I'm John Dabkovich from the Fox 5 Surprise Squad. Why don't you step outside here?
How you doing? Was not expecting that. Wow. Hi.
So, we hear you're a big UNLV football fan.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I am.
You get to many games?
I used to go to a lot of them.
Well, we have a surprise for you. and we actually have some people here to help us with this surprise.
Derek, Bobby Hauck, how are you, man?
How you doing?
Very good. How you doing? This is Devontae Davis, our wide receiver. We got a couple things for you. We heard you were a big Rebel fan. Devontae's got some swag for you here. We want you to be our honorary captain for our first game next weekend against Northern Colorado. So we got a sideline pass for you and a parking pass. We've also got, for you and your family, we've got 4 season tickets.
Thank you.
So absolutely, buddy. Very good.
I played out in Boulder City. We took state that year. I got recruited by Wayne Nunley. Then I joined the Army after high school.
Right before Desert Storm, yeah.
I don't think people realize how huge I'm a UNLV fan. Even if they're not playing home, I listen to them on the radio.
I bet you're wondering how we found out about all this.
Yes, I am.
Your wife called us and let us know how dedicated you've been to UNLV, and she just wanted to do something nice for you.
Yeah, I don't think she thought this was going to happen.
Thank you so much. If there's anybody that would be over the moon over that, it's Derek.
We hope you come to every game, bring some friends, bring some family, and Devontae will see you for the coin toss here in about 10 days. How's that?
All right.
All right, man. Very good.
Thanks again, Coach.
You bet.
It's a total surprise. I was not expecting this. Go Rebels.
And Derek, his wife, and 3 children also be joining Fox 5 at our RebZone tailgate party before Saturday's home game. You have a lot of fun going out and doing that, don't you?
Yeah, that was awesome. He was surprised. I didn't know how it would all come down, but Derek's a good guy, and we're excited to see him next weekend out at the stadium, and I hope a lot of everybody watching will show up too.
It is the home opener, and I know that crowds are important. How important is it to have a big crowd rooting the Rebels on this Saturday?
Well, we have a good football team. We've played really good football out at Sam Boyd the last 2 years, and this year's going to be no exception. We've got a good team. You know, it's fun out there. College football is a great game. If you watch what went on this last weekend, everybody in the country's eagerly anticipates the start of the season this weekend, and we've got good college football here, and we hope people come out and watch the Rebels this next weekend.
Kickoff 7 o'clock out at Sam Boyd Stadium. Now, Derek's going to be out on the field before the game, but we got to talk a little bit about the home opener and break this one down. Straight ahead of the Red Zone, we're taking a closer look at Northern Colorado and what the Rebels will face at Sam Boyd on Saturday night.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by Born and Raised, official home of Rebels on the road.
Saturday night at 7 o'clock, the first home game of the season takes place at Sam Boyd Stadium. The opponent is Northern Colorado, who played their first game of the season right here in Las Vegas.
The home opener for UNLV is the season opener for its opponent. Northern Colorado kicks off the 2014 season in Sam Boyd Stadium on Saturday night. The Bears are an FCS team out of the Big Sky Conference and are coming off a 1-11 season. But head coach Ernest Collins Jr. says his team is made up of fighters.
Whenever you have a team that's been in the position that we've been in, you know, on the bottom of a conference of this stature, you got to have leaders in the locker room, and we have those guys now.
Sophomore Sean Rubalcaba leads the offense at quarterback, but in team scrimmages this summer, reports are the defense has been making the biggest impression. Northern Colorado will be smaller and less athletic than UNLV, but the Rebels still have to line up because they'll get the Bears' best shot.
So it's their first game of the season, and out of a small town like Greeley, Colorado, not a lot of information necessarily gets out. What do you know about Northern Colorado?
Well, they're a little bit tough for us to prepare for. We know Ernest will have the guys, Coach Collins will have the guys ready. They've got a new defensive coordinator in Larry Kerr. When I say it's new to them, not new to the game. But we don't have any film. They didn't play yet this season, so we're having a hard time. We did an off-season study on them. We're having a hard time figuring out exactly what to prepare for. You know, it's sort of like numerous years ago we played against them, and they had a receiver named Vince Jackson who ended up being pretty good for the Chargers, and they had a safety named Reed Dowdy who ended up being awfully good for the Redskins. So we'll have a real test coming in here. They'll be fired up to open their season, and we better make some improvement and have our A game, or we're in jeopardy of getting beat.
What are you looking from your team the most as the bounce back after Arizona in this game against Northern Colorado?
Well, we need to improve the things we didn't do well. You know, we need to tackle better. We need to execute better in the run game. We need to finish drives in the red zone and just all those things that we talked about earlier in the show. We need to do those better. If we do those things better and become more of a complete football team, we'll have a chance to win. If not, then we're going to get upset.
Hey, we're going to take one final break, and then we're going to have some final thoughts from Coach Hauck. But first, here's a look at how other Mountain West teams did in the opening week of college football.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by Born and Raised, official home of Rebels on the road.
Win or lose, you go by the motto, on to the next one, and that's exactly what we got, right?
Yeah, that's what you have to do this time of year. Hope people will come out for the home opener. It's the best value in season tickets in the country, so I hope people will come out.
7 o'clock kickoff at Sam Boyd Stadium this Saturday. That's a wrap for us. We leave you with the Rebel Plays of the Week. Thanks for joining us inside the Red Zone. We'll see you next Sunday. Good night.
1, 2, 3, cross houses.
We will rise against, even though we don't know where we should begin, even though we can't see around the bend. Oh, we know that we will rise again. Here we go, no, we can't see the light, and we don't know where, and we don't know why. Seems time might be running out, but we're not going down without a fight. We will rise against, even though we don't know where we should begin, even though we can't see around the
Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show was presented by Born and Raised, official home of Rebels on the road.